we are following our normal practices, and so it doesn't matter your status. We have mugshots ready for.
He takes this case to trial, and he's convicted, which, based upon what I've seen in the indictment, I believe he would be. Then he's facing jail time, because part of what the Department of Justice has always done under all of the attorneys general that I've seen in my lifetime is, if we offer you a plea, which I'm certain they will, and you turn it down, and you take us to trial, and you're convicted, that judge is sending you to jail. And I think that's what he goes to bed every night thinking. Every night. And all this bravado and everything else, I've known him for 22 years. And when I was doing these cases in New Jersey, and I would put political figures in jail, he would say to me, I could never do that. I could never go to jail. And I'm telling you, no matter what he says, no matter how he's bragging and going on about him not being afraid, he goes to bed every night thinking about the sound of that jail cell door closing behind him.
All right, guys, so we got to react to this video from CNN's senior legal analyst, Elie Honig, who is going to actually present an interesting argument about why Trump is not going to jail, okay? And this is a little bit of a change up from what we typically see in the mainstream liberal media, which is them talking about all the reasons why Trump is going to jail, right? He's going to jail for X, Y, and Z reason. Except this guy, again, who's a senior legal analyst at CNN, believes that Trump actually is not going to go to jail, specifically if he is reelected. And he believes that he's not going to jail even in Georgia. Now, he's going to lay out his argument here that I find to be pretty fascinating, pretty interesting, and I want to react to it. But first, I got to tell you guys about how you can avoid the financial prison of solely relying on a volatile stock market by investing in gold, which is why the sponsor of today's video is Noble Gold. The US dollar has lost 85% of its value since the 70s, when the dollar was decoupled from gold. And the government seems bent on continuing that tradition. From now and up until the next election, the government has free reign to print as much money as they want. And the last time that this happened, everybody knows, everybody remembers, inflation went up 9%. This means one thing: the security of your future and your family's future is all in your hands. Make sure you freeze the value of the wealth you're holding. Invest in gold with Noble Gold Investments. Gold is the one asset that is proven to withstand recession, inflation, and just about all economic threats. Noble Gold is here to help you if you want to invest in gold. You will also get a 24-karat, 1/4 ounce gold standard coin for free. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 877-646-5347 to get started, or go to noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. And just remember, there's a risk with every investment, and there's no guarantee of any kind. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
Is he going to actually go to prison is a lot of people's question. Let me just lay out the steps. A, he has to be convicted,
right,
which could well happen. I actually think it's quite possible. Then he has to be sentenced to prison, which I think in any of those three cases is likely. Then, though, if he wins the election, forget it. If he wins the election, he'll throw out the DOJ cases. He'll pardon himself.
And the Georgia case?
The problem with the Georgia case is they're not going to be able to try him while he's sitting president. I mean,
oh, wow.
Constitutionally, given the federal supremacy doctrine, there's no way the federal courts will allow she's a county level prosecutor. I mean, that would be the same thing as if the Sussex County, New Jersey, I don't live in Sussex County, but like the Sussex County, New Jersey prosecutor tried to put Joe Biden on trial right now.
Right.
It would never happen.
So
I've heard people say, well, constitutionally, we don't know. I'm sorry. My legal analysis on this one boils down to that ain't happening.
So if Trump wins 2024,
right,
all of these indictments washed away.
Well, the DOJ indictments get dismissed. or he'll try to pardon himself. We don't know if that's legal or not. But the problem is the only way to challenge a self-pardon is DOJ has to indict him and then litigate it. It's going to be his DOJ. I guess theoretically he could be charged. He could be tried in New York and Georgia in 2029.
Right.
But I mean, if that's what we're waiting for, you know, I'm not going to hold my breath on that.
He's an old man.
He'll be 80, whatever, two, and it'll be the conduct will be a decade old. I mean, I don't know how that's going to actually play out.
Right. So
Oh, and let me add this.
Yeah.
If he loses,
Yes.
he gets sentenced to prison. Then there's still the possibility. People get so mad when I say this. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there's a possibility that he gets commutation from the federal cases. There's a possibility that a second term 84, 85-year-old Joe Biden says, not pardoning him, conviction stands for history, but I don't think we need him to go to prison. I beat him twice in an election. Let's move on. It's possible.
I don't think that's happening. Now, I basically agree with everything he's saying up until this point, right? I don't think that Democrats are going to go soft on Trump if he gets convicted and then he gets sentenced. I don't think that Democrats are going to all of a sudden say, you know what? We're actually going to commute your sentence, right? We're not going to actually have you serve any prison time because now all of a sudden we want to be soft on you. But who knows? I mean, you know, the point of them going after Trump is not because he committed any real crimes, or we'll put it this way, he didn't commit any crimes that weren't committed by people like Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden, right? The point is to stop him from becoming president, okay? They don't want to become president anymore, so they're trying to basically affect the outcome of the 2024 election with this political witch hunt and these bogus indictments. So I guess from a certain perspective, if the main goal is to keep Trump from being president, maybe they could, you know, take their foot off the gas pedal, right? If he happens to lose in 2024 and say, you know what, we're not actually going to have you serve prison time. But you know what? Democrats are so evil, okay? They're so screwed up in the head that I don't think that they would do that, right? They wouldn't do, I think that they want to see Trump in prison, just like they're waiting to see this mugshot, right? They want to see this mugshot that apparently they're going to get of Trump when he goes and turns himself into Atlanta due to the indictment out there led by Fannie Pack Willis, right? The deranged woman that allegedly sleeps with gang members, right? Running that prosecution. Again, a process, in my opinion, that's rigged, okay? That whole process of prosecuting Trump and going after him, clearly not a process that actually respects the rule of law. But again, that's another video for another day. Yeah, I mean, again, these people want to see Trump in jail. They're that sick, right? So I don't think that Biden, who, again, we know he's not really running anything, okay? I don't think Biden is going to go easy on Trump if Biden is reelected and Trump is convicted and Trump has to serve prison time. I don't think Biden's going to come out of the way and say, oh, no, we're gonna commute his sentence. He doesn't have to actually, you know, go to prison. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they want to see Trump behind bars. They want to see him in prison. I mean, that would be masturbation material for these people, right? If they have an opportunity to see Trump in prison, they're going to do it, right? So I actually don't agree with him when it comes to this part of it.
The Georgia case is more complicated because there's no presidential pardon for that. And there's not even a governor pardon for that. It's this board of pardons. So Georgia, in that respect, is I think, very problematic for him. But my point is, with all these cases, there's 3, 4, 5 substantial hurdles that need to be overcome. And by the way, he is not going to get locked up before the election, no matter what.
No matter what.
Because even if he gets convicted and then sentenced to prison all before the election, he will almost certainly get what we call bail pending appeal, meaning the judge will say, you don't have to start serving your time until you've exhausted and lost all your appeals. And that means the Intermediate Court of Appeals, whether the Federal Circuit Court and then maybe U.S. Supreme Court, or the same thing at the state level. That's going to take, I mean, even if they super expedited it, a year, 18 months to get through all of his appeals.
Yeah. So, again, I personally think that what he's saying here actually makes sense in regards to Trump going to jail if he's reelected. I don't think that he's going to go to jail. I also don't think that he's going to go to jail or be in prison while on the campaign trail, right? I don't think that that's going to happen before the election. But I think at this point, it's very clear. It's do or die for Trump at this point, right? Trump's back is against the wall because of all the things being thrown at him at the deep state. He has to win, right? He has to win. And this is, I guess this is why I'm really making this video, right? Like, people got to understand the situation that we're in right now. If you do not want to see the former president of the United States go to jail, you have to vote, right? If Trump ends up winning the primary, which there are some people on the right who are not going to like it. They're never Trumpers who are going to be like, oh, we don't agree with this. We don't like Trump, whatever. Fine. I get it. You don't have to like the guy. But if he does not win, the Democrats are going to throw this man in prison. If you don't want to see the former president in prison, right, and you actually did like the state of the economy, you liked the state of the country when Trump was in office, at the very least for the first 3 years, then you need to vote, right? You need to get out there and you need to vote. Swallow your pride, okay? Put aside the Trump derangement syndrome or the fact that, I don't know, he beat DeSantis or whoever else that people like in the GOP. You got to vote, right? And if you're independent and you don't want to see the former president go to jail, right? You don't want to see Democrats lock up their political opponents while also at the same time, again, using the power of the state, the government, try to sway the outcome of the election, because that's the whole point. That's what they really, really want. They don't want Trump to win. You have to vote, right? You got to vote. I don't really understand these people who have Trump derangement syndrome to the point where they're like, I don't like Biden, but I hate Trump more. Therefore, I'm not going to vote for the guy. And it's like, well, what do you hate more? Do you hate Trump as a person more than you hate the economy, right? Do you hate the fact that we got an open border? You hate the fact that this country is literally going backwards, okay? It's falling off a hill, okay? We're in a free fall, okay, in regards to the lunacy and chaos that's happening in this country. I'm just saying, it's do or die for this man. He really has to win. If he does not win, this might be the last that we ever see of Trump. He might be behind bars, because that's what's going to happen. I don't think that the Democrats are going to let Trump off easy. And that's not something I want to see in this country. I really do not want to see it, especially since it is clear that the rules are applied differently based off the party affiliation. Again, Hillary should be in prison if Trump should be in prison, right? Or Biden should be in prison if Trump should be in prison. I'm just saying, the fact they're not locking up Democrats and they're only locking up, Trump, okay, and Republicans should tell people just exactly how messed up and screwed up this is. And that should motivate people to get out here and to say, you know what? If Trump is the nominee, right, if he wins, you know what? We got to stand behind him, because we don't want to see this country turn into a banana republic where we're just locking up our political opponents and basically trying to sway the outcome of elections using the power of the deep state. We really don't want to go there as a country, okay? So, I don't know, right? I'm just hoping that this man wins. I can't wait to see the meltdown from the left, from liberals, if this man's win. I guarantee you it will be January 6th, part 2. But again, even worse, right? It's coming from the left. And also on top of that, they'll be screaming about how the election was stolen and such and such and such. They'll be doing all that, right? And I can't wait to see it, okay? That's one of the main reasons I want to see the guy win, is I want to see the meltdown from the left, on top of the fact that I do believe that he can get this country back on track. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.